So we're asking the obvious question. Is the Powerline 340 the Grinch? Is this going to ruin your holidays if you find this under the tree this year? Well, let's have a look. We're going to weigh in here. Well, it's a plastic gun, so 10.1 ounces. That's extremely, extremely light. A half-loaded magazine here. The reservoir is more or less halfway, maybe 3/4 full. It's approaching 14 ounces, all right? So it is plastic, and you have to look really hard to find any metal on this. Well, let's see. The slide, no. The fake barrel here, no. Plastic, plastic, plastic grip. Oh, look, the screw. That must be metal, right? Nope, it's not. Trigger, nope. The safety looks like it's metal. Sounds like plastic, I'm sure because of the plastic frame. And what's this? A metal pin? Yes, there are some springs in here too. The barrel's obviously metallic. You can see pins here, metallic. And the trigger mechanism, safety is on, pointed in a safe direction regardless. You can see the trigger mechanism is actually external. You can actually see that. I've tried to grab this and try to fire it with that. I haven't been able to. You need a lot of force. The trigger is the best way to do it. Speaking of that, it's a heavy trigger, which is not good for a gun like this because the BB velocity is so slow, the BB will not have left the barrel. After your trigger breaks, any motion of the gun after you fire is going to throw off your BBs. So you have to be extremely consistent, and you want to keep your sight picture the same even after you pull the trigger. So if you have a flinch or if you see your gun bobbing up and down, that's affecting your accuracy. It's really hard to shoot. It's something to work at, which adds a level of fun. So let's load this up and see how much fun it is. And I know the question on the lips of the nation right now. Does it make a good pudding dispenser? Well, we better find out. First, you'll see I loaded it up with a little bit of pudding. Then I decided a little bit more. And it wasn't really working, so I decided a lot more was in order. And we will show you that here later. In order to get the gun in action, the first thing you're going to need to do is load your magazine. You start by opening this tab right here, and then you can dump in a whole bunch of BBs into your reservoir right there. You can see the BBs in there. All right, once you have that done, now you have to take them from the reservoir here into the magazine itself. That's actually going to feed. Okay, so you have your spring-loaded follower right here, and when you pull it back, oh no, you can't see the BBs because you have to pull this tab back. Daisy say that you can do this in the instruction manual. It says you can do this with the magazine in the gun. That's a terrible idea. Let me show you why. So you shake a whole bunch of BBs from the reservoir into your magazine right here, right? And then you think, all right, well, that's good. Now I'm just going to let it go. So you let it go and oh no, oh, half of your rounds just went back up into the reservoir. So how do you keep them down there? It's my experience, the best way to do it is to hold the follower in the rearward position and then slowly slide this thing forward, and then you retain a lot more rounds. In this case, maybe 2. But it does seem to work more effectively with the magazine out of the gun. You insert it into the magazine well here, be sure it clicks into place, be sure it's fully seated, and then you will need to take a BB from the magazine into the chamber. You do that by racking the slide. Now, these nubs right here can hurt your fingers or hands if you're cold, so just be wary of that. This is not the safety. The safety is actually right here where the slide stop would be on a normal firearm. So just rack this all the way back and let it go. Don't hold it or shake it or jiggle it because you may get a loose BB. And I have a separate video on the takedown of that slide if you do have a BB stuck in there. Okay, so when you're on the range, obviously loaded, in this case it's not loaded, get on target, take your safety off, and then you can fire. I'm going to dry fire it here. Normally I wouldn't do this. Don't recommend you do it. Then you turn your safety on. All right, that's the function of the gun. Let's go shoot it. We talked about the materials, we talked about shooting and accuracy, some things that I've noticed about the gun. The sights are not the best. Again, I would paint the front sight, make it a little more high visibility, But again, you don't need any more precision than what's offered here with these open sights. It does kind of bother me that the trigger mechanism is exposed, but again, it doesn't affect how much fun it is. And that's really what this gun's all about. The materials seem, again, adequate. It seems like a gun that will actually last a significant amount of time. So pudding did not increase the accuracy. It didn't lubricate anything. It just made the gun worse. So I can't emphasize it enough. Don't try that at home. And let's see if this thing has some real pudding dispensing potential. Powerline 340, the Grinch. It is not. This thing is so much fun. I would be so happy to get this under the tree. It's also not a good pudding dispenser. Don't try it. Remember, be safe. All the safe gun handling procedures and protocols, follow those. Finger out of the trigger guard until you're on target rate of fire. Safety, magazine. Be sure that you use common sense. Don't load it, obviously, until you're on the range. And never, ever point this at anybody. Even if it's not loaded, even if the safety's on, don't point it. It's just not safe gun handling.